G'day all, it's Colin from PCTLC and thanks for joining me. Today we're going to take a look at one of the installs of my KDE Neon. Now this has been on here for a couple of months, however I did reinstall it. I downloaded the fresh ISO and thought I'd do a fresh install. And one of the main reasons I did that was because I had some anomalies in the bottom panel here, which was up the top, and I was given it like a Unity look, and that anomaly ended up being the user itself. So I thought there was maybe some sort of conflicting libraries or something, and things were going haywire, but it turns out just my lack of knowledge. So I'm in no means a KDE expert, and I'm just sharing my KDE experience with you guys. So I've always liked the Neon, but never been able to get along with it really well. So that's why I thought I'd give it a good chance, couple of months, work with it. And it just means that you need to change your mindset on how you do things, because KDE works just a little bit different to other desktop environments. And when I say that, I mean, you know, right clicking and doing stuff like, I mean, if you want to get rid of an item on the panel, you've got to click this menu here, and then you can click the X button and get rid of all the tasks. Or that's a task manager. I think it's got a spacer as well. So I actually got rid of the task manager, and I think I got rid of the spacer, and this system tray kept pushing all the way to the left because it's actually held there with the spacer. So that was the problem I was having, and I couldn't work out why this system tray was all the way to the left. So that's the reason why. And I'll show you why, because what I wanted to do is I wanted to move this, so screen edge up top, and I want to get rid of the task manager, widget removed, and I want to get rid of, do I need to get rid of this spacer? Maybe not. So what we'll do is add a widget, and I like the icons only task manager. So we'll drag that up there, I believe. Yep, well actually no, I didn't want to do that either, did I? No, that's not what I wanted to do. So let's get rid of that. Okay. Alright, so I actually wanted to get rid of my application launcher as well. Get rid of that. And we shall keep the spacer there. So hopefully that spacer now, because it is set to, let's have a look. Right click, set flexible size. So what happens there is when you take things away, the spacer takes up the gap there, which is what I wasn't aware of. So that spacer can stay there. So what I want to do is right click and add a panel, add panel. I think we can go for application menu bar, I believe. Now that's this one here, so we'll go to screen edge, put it here. Now we need to put the arrow there and drag this down somehow. I think we've got to do the bottom one first, I think. So drag that up, and then you can drag this one down. And we'll sort of make it in line with that top panel if we can. And then I'll drag this one back down all the way. It's a bit funny, this thing, it's hard to grab. See, I can't get it all the way to the bottom. I maybe see, I think you've got to grab it a bit higher, yeah. And then the width, we'll move that out a bit, make it look a little bit Unity style. Okay, so now we right click and add widgets, I want a launcher, application dashboard. Love that. Good tool. So application dashboard. Now I'll just press the Windows button or the super key. So that's not working. See, this is another thing. This is what confused me when I was using KDE at first. This Windows or super key would not work once you take out a launcher. So if you right click and go to application dashboard settings, we go to keyboard shortcuts and set that to Alt and F1. And once you do that, click OK. Once you do that, now the super key is working. So I found out that the F1 is a global thing, and I don't really want to get into it too much because I'm still trying to understand it all. But once you set that menu to F1, then your super key works. So that's all good. Now the other thing I wanted here was what I was going to put before. See, I right click to add stuff. Well, you can. I suppose you can do that, can't you? So icons only. Icons only. Right there. And there we have the icons only. Now, that is the way I like to have it sort of set up. You can probably add a couple of things up here. There is a global menu you can add. I'm not really going to go into that too much. I just sort of like this type of setup, and then icons only. No, we want the. So that's icons only. So we need to go into the settings, more settings. And see, that's the other thing. I was right clicking to change the settings, but it's actually on this menu. I wanted to auto hide. Windows can go, Windows can cover. I think that maybe it's a bit like IntelliHide, I think. Windows can cover. Let's check it out. I'm not sure what that means. Yeah, there we go. It's IntelliHide. Same deal. Only when it's full screen though. Okay. Yep. Oh, that looks pretty good. Actually, what I wanted to do with this one is probably make it that little bit smaller. I don't want that taking up too much screen real estate on this laptop. And then we have to adjust this one. There we go again, right click. I'm right clicking again. And grab it up here. There we go. So we grab it up high. It's got a fair bit of pixelation space for grabbing there, so I'm just doing it wrong. So now we go to system settings, workspace theme. I like the Breeze Dark, but what was the other thing we can do? Breeze Dark on the desktop, I think it is. So that changes, yeah. So what that does is I like to keep the boxes bright but the panel's dark, because I think the dark panels look much better. So that looks real good. So if you want the system settings on there, you can just pin that. And that should be it for that. Can probably add a global menu. Let's have a look, see if it's there. I'm pretty sure there's a global menu there. Yeah, there it is. So let's add that up there anyway, see what that does. So I suppose we open something and there it is, you get your global menu. So some people like it, some people don't. It's very handy if you, you know, at least you know that that's where it is all the time. But it does work, so that's handy. And I have to give KDE one thing, all its animations is smooth as butter, really, at the end of the day. So I don't know if I've set Control H for this. No, I haven't. So it's Alt and the full stop button, or I think they call it something else. To me, it's a full stop button. So it's Alt and full stop is to hide, show hidden files, or there it is, Alt full stop. That's another thing. When I first started this, when I looked at this, I just thought Alt plus. I just thought it was Alt. I didn't see the full stop down the bottom. That confused me as well, I must say. Now I do like my folders over here, so I'm going to drag them over. Documents, music, pictures, and we have videos there. So now KDE Neon really doesn't come with a lot of wallpaper, so I've installed some wallpaper from Charlie Henson. He does some nice work, so we'll set this one for now. So that looks pretty cool. So that's my KDE Neon. Now in the documents, if we create a new text file, call it Col's doc. Okay. Now, if we go to the K runner, well, actually no, we hit the super key, because this menu here searches as much as what the K runner does. So if I was to search for Col's docs, there it is. So it's, the only thing I notice that this doesn't search is zip files, ISO files. It doesn't search any of those. So if anybody knows a way that you can set that to search those things, if there's a plugin, that'd be handy. Now the other thing is this LibreOffice. I installed this today. Last week it wasn't working. Now it's working. But I thought that had so there's no global menu for that. That's interesting. My global menu's disappeared. Or was that just for that? Let's check it out. Okay, so there's no global menu for LibreOffice. So let's get rid of that for now. Global menu. Gone. Bye-bye global menu. So let's just try LibreOffice Calc again. There's no menus there anyway. There was menus earlier when I was running it, so I don't know how they've disappeared. Must be the global menu. Anyway, if we go to Firefox, which I haven't set up I'll pin that to the panel. Yeah, Firefox keeps some of these searches now, so you'd have to go research. So OMG Ubuntu, how to install LibreOffice 6 on Ubuntu 16.04, long-term support and above. Here's the PPA, update and install LibreOffice. Works great. I think the global menu's messed up the LibreOffice, so I think it may need to log out and log back in, I believe. So I'm going to continue to use KDE Neon. I might even put it on my main system because it's not too bad at all, I must say. When it comes to LibreOffice, the one thing I wanted to look at was, I think they had jump lists here, I believe, somewhere. Oh, new spreadsheet. Okay. So what I tried to do is in Documents, create new. Don't know how to create a new LibreOffice file. I can do that easy in GNOME, just save it to templates, but it doesn't seem to be the case in KDE Neon. So if anybody out there knows that as well, that'd be handy. I do like to set that up. Otherwise, I'm at a loss with that one. Yeah, and they do have the jump lists in the menus now. So, and even the menu here might have a jump list. Let's have a look. Right click, new spreadsheet. Okay, that's probably workable there. The only difference is it's good to be able to create it in documents itself and right click, so you know it's saved in the right place. It's no big deal. Not a problem at all. So anyway, that's how I like to set up my KDE at the moment. And the other thing I will do is I normally set up, just before I go, desktop behavior, I think it is desktop effects. No, it's actually keyboard. That's full screen, that. Toggle present windows all desktops. So that's Alt W. So I must have already set that. Yes, I have. Alt W. Okay. So I like to have that set. Alt W. And then you got your menu to search. So they're two good features to have. I see that this has the flexibility of Cinnamon, XFCE, sort of everything really, because what you can do in XFCE you can do in here. You can have short panels, you can have long panels, and there's just so many options. You can get lost, so that's probably why I'm a little bit lost. Just up that a little bit. There we go. So it looks level, there's no gap there. So there's a lot of flexibility in here, and you can pretty much have this desktop looking exactly the way you want it. I may probably put this at the bottom, I think, because that's where I really like it at the end of the day. And a hidden panel on full screen. So that works handy for me. The only thing I don't have is time when you're putting your Alt W out there. Be nice to have time. And you can put your time, you can move your time. Digital clock to the center. But the problem is you need the spacer. So if we move the spacer, no, it needs to be on the other side of the spacer, I believe. So there's the spacer there. Then we can pull this back. And oh, that didn't work, did it? Doesn't want to come back. So this is a problem I find in here. So that's gone to the other side of the spacer now. So this is the only problem I have, is trying. So maybe we don't got to change panel options. No, set flexible. Maybe turn that off so we can set our own. Okay, that back there. But here, right? Okay, that's how it works. Our space is on the wrong side now. Okay, so that should be your center about there, so that's in the center. You would think. Oh, put it a little bit more this way. This is where I get lost with, and that goes flying over there, then comes flying back again. So that's where you can get a little bit lost in KDE with it can be a bit finicky sometimes moving these things around. So anyway, that's my KDE Neon desktop, and for anyone who's looking for a video to watch on KDE, visit BigDaddyLinux, and he is the #1 man on KDE, and he will show you what to do. And if you looking for how to set it to Unity, I don't know whether Rocco's done that, BigDaddyLinux, or not, but you also got Quids Up, who does a few videos, the odd video here and there on KDE as well. So I've discovered that LibreOffice menus are there. The problem that I had was that there was another global menu sitting in this panel here that I was unaware of. I must have put it there accidentally. That's why these menus weren't showing up. So I've put the global menu back up there, but the global menu is not working for LibreOffice, so I took the global menu out. And the other thing was this system tray kept moving over to here, so I've had to add another spacer there, and there's a spacer there, and that keeps the clock in the middle. I think I remember hearing Zeb and Rocco talk about that, I believe. So yep, so that definitely does work. Don't know if it's perfectly in the center, but should be able to work that out anyway. Let's just open another one. Might have to check the flexible sizes on, that's why. Oh, this is very finicky. So I reckon a little more this way. I reckon it's as good as you're probably going to get it, so that'll do. That's good enough for me anyway. So that's the reason why that kept moving over. So it's done it to me again. And the one thing I haven't shown yet is the Discover store. So that seems to be working a lot better these days. So I've had to install LibreOffice Calc to get number 6, because in the Discover store it's actually 5.1 and it's really old. I mean really old. So now the other thing I noticed with these, you'll see the OBS is actually on the panel. It's actually when you first install it, it sits here in the notifications. So if you right click on System Tray and select System Tray Settings, is that the right one? No, I don't think it is. Let me just check that. It is. I've got to remember now. This is where I get lost. No, they're individual settings. Status and notifications. Oh, sorry, it's entries. Okay, gee. Entries. So, OBS, change that from auto to shown, or it can be hidden altogether. auto is in the notifications, shown is, it's shown on there. So you can do the same with any of these things. They can be actually shown. Anything that's in this notifications can be actually shown here, and anything else that's here can be shown in notifications permanent. So yeah, that's the way you change that. So that's how I did that. So anyway, that's my experience, and hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.